Welcome to a Memorial Day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Thanks so much for being here with us. Of course, let me be the first to say happy Memorial Day and thanks to all those who serve, but most importantly on this day to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and for the families they left behind, but they know how much we appreciate their sacrifice every day. So, yeah, today's great to have a day off and to throw something on the grill and enjoy some sun and hopefully a beautiful day and all that. But yeah, more importantly, why we were here on Memorial Day. So, it is also obviously Selection Monday for the college baseball regional field. So last night we found out the 16 regional host sites. Today we will find out the rest of the field. We'll find out the 8 national seeds and the rest of the field. So here we go. Okay, so okay. So, we now know the regional host sites. Ruston was awarded a regional host site after they won their conference, or after Tech won their conference tournament. So, a little surprised, but I'll tell you, my fingers are crossed, and I'm hoping that's where LSU gets sent. I think LSU in Ruston has an awesome opportunity to advance. LSU is a 3 seed in Ruston. We've already seen LSU beat Tech twice. Basically, do you think, it basically boils down to this, do you think LSU could win a 2-3 matchup with Landon Marceau on a Friday and come back a day later, likely with Mikhail Hilliard to beat Louisiana Tech? I do. I mean, and then someone's got to come back and beat you twice, and you got Labus and whoever else waiting in the wings. Yeah, I mean, I think they could win that regional. The only real debatable one, I would say, is Columbia, South Carolina. The Gamecocks did get a regional. Considering the way their season ended, I am very surprised South Carolina got a regional. But at 33-21, Stanford's the only one other that had that few wins, and they were 33-14. They played 7 fewer games. So, anyway, some of the projections have LSU in. I haven't seen a projection that has LSU in Ruston. For what it's worth, D1 baseball has LSU 62nd. So among the last 5 in, they're 3rd. And they do have, by the way, let me correct myself there. Okay, D1 baseball has changed their projection, and they have LSU going to Ruston. Tech is the 1, Oklahoma State is the 2, LSU is the 3, South Alabama is the 4. So I would be all for it. Give me Landon Marceau on a Friday against Oklahoma State, win that game, come back with Mikhail Hilliard. Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, let's say some good morning and see what y'all got. Oh, let me see real quick. Whoops. Ooh, let me see what D1 Baseball has, or Baseball America. I haven't checked their latest update projection. Let's see. Here it is. And by the way, Baseball America has LSU firmly in the field. They don't even have LSU among their last 4 in. So both D1 Baseball and D1 and Baseball America both have LSU firmly in the field. It's not like you're going to be sweating to see if you're the last team in. And for whatever it's worth, look at they updated to, wow, They have the same exact projection. Tech is the 1, Oklahoma State is the 2, LSU and South Alabama. Golly, that would be amazing if that happens. God, it would be amazing. And maybe because of a COVID year, they want to reduce travel. But and the other thing about it, too, is if LSU gets sent to Ruston, that becomes the de facto home game for LSU. You know how many LSU fans are going to go to Ruston for the regional? Breezy Bro, good morning. All right, let's say some good mornings here. Breezy Bro, Dale Broussard, Louisiana Tech will be pissed if they send us to Ruston. Okay. I ain't worried about that. Neil Ripley, good morning. Jason Truax, Scott Borch, Patrick Cason, good morning. Charlie Cavell, Brian and Andy Penn, good morning from Jackson. Baseball America hasn't been going to Hattiesburg. Baseball America does not have to go to Hattiesburg. I'm looking at it right now, Brian. Baseball America, in the projections that they put up last night, I'm sorry, this was 7 minutes ago. Wow, this was 7 minutes ago. Good timing. Has LSU going to Ruston? Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Have the Saints announced a new play-by-play announcer yet? They have not. And honestly, it's been very quiet on that end also. So I would think you're going to put that person in place before the start of training camp. I mean, you obviously have 3 preseason games this year, but Kirk Taylor, good morning. Adam Contreras, I think we're going to South Bend. You know, Skip, that was my initial thought. How kind of fitting if they send Paul to South Bend. The one thing that I will say is, with this being a COVID year, they may try to reduce travel, and you may not see as much cross country. Now, look, if you're a team from the Northeast and there is no regional host site close to you, you got to come down south, right? I mean, you got to travel. But if they can prevent the Baton Rouge to Corvallis type thing, I think they're going to try. So, anyway. Let's see, Charlie Cavell, Tech lost in the finals. Oh, they lost in the finals to Old Dominion. You're right, sorry. I think I said they won their conference. They got to the finals, so I'm a little surprised that they hosted, but I would have thought they'd have to win that. But, excuse me. That's right. They had a walk-off the day before, didn't they? The game before. Kirk Taylor, Memorial Day, remember why we have it. Amen. Not sure if you caught how I started here, but I definitely started with that, Kirk. And thank you, obviously, for your service as well. I know Trivia's over there on YouTube, I'm guessing. Let me go over to YouTube and check real quick. And Cliff, all of our military dudes. Tim Gotro, good morning. Trivia, good morning. What's up with you, Roxai? So, thank you for asking. She did go to the emergency care, whatever, express care yesterday morning. So she has an infection. They think she has a sty on the inside of her eyelid that became infected. So it was like swollen shut. So they gave her these prescription eye drops, these antibiotic eye drops, and I put a drop in her eye yesterday right after the show when she got them, I guess around 11 or so. And sometime around 2 in the afternoon, her eye opened. Like, it watered and it opened. So at least her eye is open now. It's still not 100%, but it's better. I wish I put one in last night. Oh, well. Joey Vincent, good morning. SRT 86.4. Labus' batting practice. We need some heat and hitting different angles like Marceau. You know what's what'll be interesting with Labus. You know, Labus had such an incredible year, and you know, had the best outing of his career against Ole Miss. We threw the complete game, 126 pitches, and since then he just wasn't right. I'll be curious with Labus. It provided LSU gets it into a regional and wins far enough that he can pitch. If you consider now he hasn't thrown since throwing 2 innings against Texas A&M. He didn't get to pitch in the SEC tournament. So in that outing again, he threw 20-something pitches against A&M. So he really hasn't thrown by the time regionals come along, he will not have like really thrown in like 3 weeks. So maybe that break is what he will have needed to sort of regenerate, if that makes sense. So I'm like, the thing about Labus is, Labus has never been a power pitcher. His strength is that as a pitch to contact guy, he has command, right? He can work both sides of the plate, up, down, off speed stuff, fastball. The problem is when he loses his command and he misses, then he's batting practice, like you said. If he needs to paint the black on a lone away pitch, and he catches 3 inches more of the plate, well, now someone's going to barrel you up, right? He's got to be precise, and he's lost that. Maybe having this extended break is going to help him come back into form. I hope so. Let's see. Pat Huseman, good morning. Stacy Schilling, good morning. Brody Dupree, more Matt, quick question. With Cliff Godwin being a candidate for the LSU baseball job, what are his strengths, personalities, traits? Good question. Cliff, let me see real quick. 1 second. Because Cliff wasn't he was here with Maneri when Maneri came. But he was not here for the championship because he took the Central Florida job. He is an emotional guy, which is good. He's young. He's 43. So, hey, Hershey. So, Godwin was with Maneri at Notre Dame, and then came with him here to LSU. But he was not an on-field guy at Notre Dame, if I remember correctly. When he came to LSU, he was the I don't remember if his title was hitting coach or, but like he worked with the hitters. That was Godwin's thing at LSU. And it was before they tweaked the bats in 2011, but he had guys like Blake Dean and Jared Mitchell, and that would be interesting. I'll tell it to you this way. I know that there's already been conversations there, and that Godwin would take the job. Obviously, he's also not the first choice, but I don't think it gets past Godwin. Somebody, I saw on Twitter yesterday, odds on the new coach. I can't find it anyway, but basically it's like O'Sullivan, Godwin are the top two, because I think, I'm just trying to be careful, y'all. I don't want to say something I shouldn't. O'Sullivan is the top guy. I do believe he will take the job if formally offered. Terms and everything, they've already, but the if offered is a big part of it. I think LSU's administration has to decide if that's their guy. People keep throwing out Schlossnagle. I'm telling you, no one at LSU's contacted Jim Schlossnagle. It may be an O'Sullivan Godwin conversation. I will keep asking around, and I know. Look, there's other names you'll probably hear because whenever coaching, I'll put it this way: when coaching searches roll around, a lot of times agents try to get their coach's name thrown into the mix, even though they know they're not going to get the job, but just so that their name is mentioned for jobs like that, it starts to become some familiarity, right? For example, you're going to start hearing about Casey Dunn. So Casey Dunn played at Auburn. He was all SEC. Might have been an All-American. Casey Dunn might have been like the SEC Player of the Year. Yep. Let's see. Casey Dunn as a player. Played at Auburn. I thought he had a really good career at Auburn. I thought he might have been like SEC Player of the Year or something like that. Maybe not. So basically now you all are watching me on Google. Let's see. Okay, he was an All-American. So he was the catcher at Auburn from 96 to 99. As a senior, he was an All-American at 379 and led the SEC with 86 RBI. Got it. Okay. So Casey Dunn was an All-American at Auburn, All-American catcher. So he's good with pitchers. He's the coach at Samford. They've had a lot of success at Samford, and he's got a great job with great facilities and he's in Birmingham. I mean, there's a lot to like about being there, but eventually he's going to move up. So you're going to start to hear Casey Dunn's name thrown out for jobs, for bigger jobs. Guys, early 40s, 43, 44. And 44, yeah, it's about right, about 44. And so you're going to hear his name thrown out there, but he doesn't really have like a legitimate chance, I think, of getting the LSU job. But you're going to start to hear his name thrown out because there's going to be an opportunity eventually for him to step up from Samford into a job like an SEC job. So anyway, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't even remember what the question was. It was a long roundabout way. It was something about Cliff Godwin. I think it was like, what does Godwin do? Godwin works with hitters, but that was a big roundabout way of answering the question. Sorry. Matthew Dubois. Morning, Matt. There's a long break between Hoover and regionals help or hurt the team. Hey, man, I think it's all on how you spin it. You could say, hey, it's going to make them really rusty, or you could say, hey, it's going to make them really rested, and you rest your arms. And I think it basically comes down to how you use that time. And whatever they do in a regional, provided they get in, which it seems like they will, we'll get that answer. But my personal opinion on the matter is I would rather have my pitchers rested, but I want my hitters sharp. So that's kind of the catch-22. The time off, I think, helps your pitchers to get to rest them, but your hitters don't get to see live pitching for 3 weeks. So, I guess a week and a half for those that played against Georgia. Michael Castello, good morning. As always, y'all shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing. Of course, Brock, their after-hours clinic is open on nights and holidays. So if you find yourself in need of an orthopedist and you want to bypass the ER, you can always get to Brock inside the Surgical Specialty Center right there on Bluebonnet. Brock, they're the best. And Hudco Roofing, had so many people reach out. It's been humbling to watch our growth in such a relatively short amount of time, and we're very grateful. So you help us spread the good word. If you know anybody who is in need of a roof, or if you just look up at your roof and it looks nasty, and give you that roof inspection. And you know what? Maybe the recommendation is we say, look, man, you don't need a new roof. Maybe you just clean it, get rid of some of that algae off of it. That eats away your shingles, will extend the life of your roof. We can help make recommendations with that as well. So it's always beneficial to have someone come and do a free inspection. Barry Day, good morning. Kelly Presley, Reagan Lee. It would be Tiger Takeover in Ruston. It would be. Kirk, is Hershey still there? She is, but she was sitting right by the door where Erica and Drew were still sleeping. So like the door was closed, so she was just laying by the door. So she'll probably come here in a minute. JC Love Field is a beautiful new facility. Charlie, I'm guessing that's the one in Ruston. I know after the storms up there, the tornado up there, a few years ago, they had a lot of work to do to renovate the field. And I'm glad to hear that it's really nice. I mean, I've only seen it like pictures or clips on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, but look, man, this is easy for me, man. If it's South Bend or Austin or Ruston, send me to Ruston. Send me to Ruston, please. Hey, Dad, good morning. Brian and Annie Penton, good morning. Adam Cotrere, remember I said that at 11. What did you say at 11? When they announced the field, remember you said that. You said, South Bend, okay. Let's see. I mean, I wouldn't hate that idea. On Friday's AFR, when I kind of did my Maneri farewell, I did mention South Bend, and I'll tell you this, D1 and Baseball America had been mocking LSU to South Bend, but today both have LSU mocked to Ruston. I'm not saying that they have a copy of the bracket in hand, but those guys tend to be pretty well connected. So if both D1 baseball, where you got Kendall Rogers and you got Etheridge and you've got Aaron Fitt and Baseball America, you got Cahill and those. I mean, they're all saying the same thing. I mean, there's some school of thought behind it. D1 is Old Dominion going to Spokane as the number 1 seed. That happens. Where the regional host isn't the 1 seed, it happens. It's rare, but it happens. Charlie, 2 walk-offs against USM and lost to Old Dominion in the 10th. Got it. Jonathan Martin, morning. Scone from Salisbury, North Carolina. Happy Memorial Day. Amen to that. Let's see. Nolan Daigle, good morning from Cypress, Texas. Right over by Houston, huh? Let's see. If O'Sullivan becomes the new head coach, you think he can talk Marceau since Lavis and coming back? No. Just flatly no. If a player plays their senior year, they lose all of their leverage. If you're going to be a top 3 round guy, which Marceau I think will be, you go. Probably a top 5 round guy, you go. I don't think Marceau is going to bump into round 1, but I think he's got a great shot to be a top 60 pick, and he'll sign. Shelby, what's up with the Sully off the field issues? How much of an effect does it have on him coming here? So I want to be clear, okay? It's not like it's anything illegal. Like just very quick backstory. So Kevin O'Sullivan and his wife, or his ex-wife, they're divorced. They have kids. I know that 4 years ago when LSU kind of kicked the tires there was a big problem because O'Sullivan couldn't take his kids out of Florida legally. That's one of the big reasons he had no interest. Well, his wife is remarried, and I think my understanding is at this point, she and her new husband would be willing to move and would be willing to come to Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and that would be very good for their family. So it would make sense there. I look there's this article that's being passed around from earlier this month about a tragic situation involving a murder suicide in Florida. Some of you probably seen it. O'Sullivan was a friend of that family's, and there's been a lot of rumors thrown out about. But here's what I'll say: that is not weighing into LSU's decision. It's a tragic situation. It's awful. It's gut wrenching to go read that story, but that's not. I'll tell you flatly, like for anybody, that's not what's weighing into LSU's decision. Maybe suffice to say that as a newly single man, maybe Kevin O'Sullivan has some Lane Kiffin in him. Is that fair? I mean, look, you're a single man. Or some Ed Ogeron in him. Like you're a single man. You can. It's nothing illegal. So it's just, is that how comfortable is LSU amid Title IX stuff or whatever, blah blah. I think that's something that they'd have to iron out. Without saying too much, I hope that helps. And so to say off the right, Shelby, like so for me to say off the field that makes it sound like it's nefarious and doing wrong. It's not. I would say it's kind of akin to your football coach having pictures floating around of him in bed with a young girl, But there's no pictures. You know what I mean? Anyway, I probably said too much, but I think y'all understand what I mean, right? Devin Kelly, good morning. And by the way, single man, like there's no judgment here. Like there's no judgment here. Just I think the LSU admins have to decide, what they're comfortable with. That's all. Devin Kelly, good morning. Happy Memorial Day. Thanks to all servicemen and women, past and present. Yes, indeed. Kevin Sparks, selection show, 11 a.m. Should be usually on ESPNU, right? Or is it on ESPN? Let me see. It is on. Let's see what network it is. I mean, if you're streaming, you can just get it streamed. Let's see. It's ESPN2 at 11 a.m. ESPN2. All right. Kevin Sparks, Kevin Boudreaux, morning Scone, watching from Sulphur. Been struggling to watch consistently. Try to tune in as much as possible. Thank you. With a new coach coming in, do we see current players hit the transfer portal? Maybe the incoming coach brings some players with him. Kevin, that happens every year. You got to remember in baseball, you're going to have roster turnover every year because you only have 25 roster spots. So even like you have these exit meetings every year. So even if Maneri were staying, there are guys that wouldn't be back because if they aren't contributing, then you need that roster spot basically. So yes, of course, there's going to be players that leave without question. And yes, the new coach would absolutely bring in players. And we've talked so much about transfer portal from a football perspective. We forget about other sports as well, like baseball, where you can go get a starting center fielder from South Carolina. I'm just throwing it, you know what I mean. But you can go get a starter somewhere else if he'll come. Caleb Gandy. Whatever happened to Matthew Beck? Never heard the actual injury. Caleb, so he tore his UCL. He'll have Tommy John. I had Matthew Beck on AFR this week. I think it was Thursday. Would highly, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Hang on. Would highly recommend you go back and listen to that interview. Let me see if I can find it real quick. 527. That was this week, right? Boom, 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 boom. Here, I'm going to post it in the comments so you can listen. Or if you want to go back to YouTube, it was 527, which I think was Thursday. And then just scroll. It was in hour 3, at like the second segment of hour 3, if you want to watch it. But Beck is great. He goes through his injury and all that sort of stuff. He had a like a slight tear in the UCL, was having some discomfort. They did stem cell treatment. He was trying to come back, and then when he went to go throw a bullpen, he felt it completely tear. So he'll have Tommy John surgery. His career is likely over. But it's a great conversation. I told him after the interview, I was like, look, man, you should, like I said, stay in touch because you're really good on air. And if ultimately your path, I think he's in maybe in business. He told me his undergrad's in finance and his master is getting his MBA. I was like, look, man, stay relevant in Baton Rouge because LSU fans will love you forever, man. Just got to remember. I mean, I don't mean to, but like Terrio, man. I mean, I told Terrio this, and he said when Terrio first started doing radio with me, when it was catching on, I said, hey, man, you realize there's gonna be a day when people know you more from the radio than from baseball. And about a year ago, he brought that back up to me. He said, hey, man, remember when you told me that? I was like, yeah. He goes, I was really pissed at you when you said that. I said, but you're right. Because it's basically happened now. But it's true. I mean, it's like, look at Roe. Look at Rohan. Doing how like he hasn't played in 20 years, but it's top of mind, right? So I told Beck the same things. He's really good. I was like, you really should consider finding some way to stay involved in media and whatever, around LSU baseball if this is the end of his career. But anyway, go listen to that if you have a chance. And he said, look, if the NCAA would grant him a 6th year, that he'd take it, which would be interesting. Brian putting this out there. What about Tim Hudson? They're not gonna, Brian. They're just not gonna hire a coach that hasn't been a head coach before. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, it's not a bad thought as an assistant, maybe, but not as a head coach. Leo Williams, Tad Page, good morning from H-Town. Charles Delaney, good morning from Quincy, Illinois. Richard Bruce, assuming LSU makes it in, are they in because they earned it or the committee giving Pulmonary a hat tip farewell? Richard, I've said all along I think they're in. Like, look at their resume. You got a top 5 RPI, you got a top 25 RPI, you got a top 5 strength of schedule. I mean, every other bubble team, when you look at the things that people measure, like road wins, quad 1 wins, I mean, LSU, their resume is better than Bama and Georgia. Like, you look at all those bubble teams. I mean, LSU's resume is better. I mean, they belong in. The only knock is you were 13-17 in the league, but look at who you lost to. Okay, you got swept by Vanderbilt. You got swept by Tennessee. I mean, you know what the crazy thing is? I was having this conversation yesterday with my grandfather. I was like, if you really think about this, they blew an 8-1 lead against Ole Miss. They blew a 9th inning lead against Tennessee in the game that got stopped and restarted the next day. They led in the 9th and blew it. And they blew a 7th inning lead against South Carolina. And that was the 7-inning doubleheaders. If you finish those 3 games, now the flip side of it is you probably won some games here and there that you had no business winning. But look at the comeback against Ole Miss, right? And the comeback against A&M in game 2. I mean, some of those games, sometimes it goes both ways, right? But those 3, like, you were on the doorstep. Like, your winning percentage had to be, like, if you were following those charts, had to be like over 90%, right? If you win those 3 games, you're 16-14 in the conference. That's 3 more quad 1 wins, 2 of them against top 10 teams in the country, and top 10 RPI teams in the country. And you're probably hosting. Think about that. You're probably a regional host if you had just finished those 3 games. So that's the margin, right? You lose those 3, Now all of a sudden you're fighting to get in on the bubble. If you had just finished those 3 games, you're probably a regional host. Crazy, right? Patrick Kimmery, good morning. Jason Bourgeois, if we get put in the Ruston Regional, wouldn't that be considered a favorable draw? Hell yeah, it would. Are you kidding me? You basically have home field advantage, and you've already beaten the 1 seed twice. You've blown them out twice this year. Hell yeah, that'd be favorable. Richie Mercer, Matt, if you win your regional and the team you're paired with loses their regional, do you host or did they recently change that? It's based on seeding of the two, because that's what happened with Florida State, if you remember. When Florida State, LSU would have had to travel in the Super Regional in 2019, but Florida State won that regional and ended up coming here. So it really depends on who they're paired with. If the home team that they're paired with wins their regional and LSU were to win here, they would travel. Let's put it this way. It's a really long shot that LSU plays at the box again this year. I mean, they'd have to win their regional and have some 4 seed up and win a corresponding regional. Let's see. Dale Broussard headed to the golf course. Watch the rest later. Enjoy, Dale. Hit him straight, man. Shelby. Gotcha. Brittany Della Houssaye. Let me get that well at 12 on the top shelf. By the way, Brittany, that's not the top shelf. That's the second shelf. There's another shelf above it. Flex. I had to, sorry. Not sorry. I'm actually not sorry. And no, you cannot have my well at 12. You cannot. Let's see. John Garunlian. Punch out and 3-putt your way to a thrilling victory over Citron. Oh, you're talking to Dale, sorry. David Wallace. You know anything on Sam Burns? Wins a tournament and withdraws from the PGA. He had an injury. Was the withdrawal. I think he's okay. Irfan Sayad Gamorgan. Let's see. Shelby. Huddy went to Auburn. He's waiting out his opportunity to be a head coach there. We'll see. Huddy. Baseball nicknames with the Y's. Huddy. Saw a clip of Davis Price training. Looked like he's lost some weight and looked more agile. He better lose some weight. They talked to him about that this offseason. This is really his opportunity. I know Ogeron challenged him a lot this offseason because they are so unsettled at running back. I mean, if you want to run the Joe Brady offense, you better have a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield and be part of the passing game, and they don't have it. John Emery has struggled to catch the ball. It's funny because I remember Mike D talking about how John Emery could catch the ball when he was at Destrehan. He looks like a fish out of water at LSU. His inability to catch the ball and his fumbles as a freshman, why he didn't play. People ask all the time why he didn't play more. That's why. And Trey Bradford played a good bit last year. I'm curious to see Corey Kiner. I mean, Corey Kiner legitimately, if he can come, I've never seen the kid. I mean, just high school highlights, but if he comes in and legitimately has some wiggle and can catch the ball out of the backfield, he's got a shot to play a lot. A lot of those SEC losses were close games too. Yeah, I mean, look, Pat, yes, but that does go both ways, right? I mean, you win a 1-run game, you lose a 1-run game. A lot of that does balance out. That's why over the course of 56 games, you are what your record says you are. And this LSU team was inconsistent, really talented in spots, low frenetic and inconsistent. I mean, it's kind of how they ended up where they are. But they're right where they deserve to be. They deserve to be on the bubble, but a little more stability at times this year and just a smidge, and your season could be drastically different. But just get in and play your best ball. Let's see. Irfan, what time do they announce? 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Kevin Barzar, Jeremy Fontana, good morning. Reading comments, Georgia fans are crying they should be in because they beat us at the SEC tournament. Yeah, you're not going to be in because of that game if you're Georgia. Like, okay. So just I know I've done this before, so for those of you who've been here on Morning Scone and you've seen me do this or indulge me. All right, let's compare LSU, Alabama, and Georgia on their resumes, okay? LSU and Georgia did not play in the regular season, but Georgia did beat LSU in the one game in the SEC tournament. LSU and Alabama did play in the regular season. LSU won that series. So LSU has a head-to-head series win over Alabama. Okay. So after the weekend, LSU's RPI, they fell 7 spots to 28. Okay. They were 21 going into the SEC tournament. They lost. They got leapfrogged by some other teams. So LSU is now at 28. Okay. LSU's RPI 28, Bama 33, Georgia 41. So LSU check mark on the RPI. Strength of schedule. LSU 4, Bama 2, Georgia 11. So all are good. Bama has the better strength of schedule there. Quad 1 wins, meaning wins over teams with RPI 1 to 50. LSU's got 9, Bama's got 8, Georgia has 8. So LSU checks that box as well. And then road wins and road record or something that's considered heavily as well. LSU with 10, Bama with 10, Georgia with 10. So they're all even there. So, I mean, when you look at it, Georgia's overall record 31-25, LSU 34-22, Bama's 31-24. LSU's got a better overall record than those three as well. And they were all, LSU and Georgia were both 13-17 in the league. Bama played one fewer game. They were 12-17. And quite honestly, had they played that game, it was against Vanderbilt, they would have been 12-18. So, Bama winning a couple of games in Hoover pushes them a little closer. Georgia just didn't do enough, at least not to leapfrog LSU. I'm not saying they don't belong in the field. I'm just saying their resume does not put them in over LSU. There's no metric there where Georgia wins. There are none. So that's, Georgia fans can say what they want, man, but you're not in over LSU. I'm not saying you don't belong in, but you're not in over LSU. Neil, they said the 16 regional sites can host a super. Okay, that makes sense. Because this year they predetermined, so they listed 20, for those that missed it, they listed 20 potential, because of COVID, 20 potential regional host sites. And then they picked the 16 among those 20. And so that makes sense. If they were doing it for that reason, they would only let the supers be at those spots as well. Now, the tricky part is, if you have a team that isn't a regional host that wins a regional, what do? Stephen Sloan, good morning. Ty Davis Price reminds me of Jeremy Hill. No. Man, Shelby. Boy, how quickly they forget, dude. Jeremy Hill was a friggin' monster, man. Oh my God. Ty Davis Price. No. Ty Davis Price is more Darrell Williams. Solid runner, but doesn't have elite power, doesn't have elite speed, doesn't have elite burst, doesn't have elite make you miss. Just a solid back. Look, Darrell Williams made it in the NFL as a special teams guy and 2-3 carry a game guy. It's not to say you can't work really hard and do that, but look, Darrell Williams they used to call him Fat Darrell. Like, he had to lose weight to get to that point. Jeremy Hill was a freaking monster. Daniel Clark, Matt, did you see Honey Badgers donating a million? I saw that. He said he would donate another $1 million to LSU if Stingley won the Thorpe or the Thorpe. What else did he say? I don't want. But I tell you what, I mean, how often do you see a guy get kicked out of school, like get kicked out of a place, and still give them millions of dollars and gravitate back toward them and own them? I mean, Tyron's been awesome at that, man. That's one of the great, like, feel-good redemption stories, man. That's a guy who was heading down a really dangerous path, and has, turned around his life completely. I remember when Patrick Peterson had his golf tournament out in Arizona. Jordy was telling me this. Jordy and Derek went out to Peterson's golf tournament, and Tyron was there. And so at one point, whenever like the social for the event, the social event before the golf tournament, whatever, whenever the event kind of devolved into people drinking and like event. I mean, it's what it is. Hey, you serve people food and booze, and it's a good time, whatever. That Tyron left. He left to go home. It's this guy who recognizes his opportunity and then blowing it. Good for him. It's awesome. Jason Bourgeois, playing devil's advocate. Wouldn't we not hire Sully for the same reason we won't bring back Cano? The nicknames. The nicknames. Jamie Fortenberry. Cano works for LSU. I think he's in TAF. Like he works as in fundraising and stuff like that for LSU. Cano, Dan Canterbury, by the way, those don't know. Jamie Fortenberry is officially taking his name out of consideration for the LSU baseball coaching job. Good to know, Jamie. Thank you for breaking that news here. Tyler Disatel, flex. Have they made selections yet? 11 a.m. Hill reminded me of Brandon Jacobs. Hill had way more speed and wiggle than Brandon Jacobs. Jacobs was a monster. Jacobs was a 260-pound linebacker playing running back. Was a monster. Let's see, where are we? Oh, by the way, please like the page, share the post on Facebook, like the page, share the post. YouTube, if you're not done so yet. 39 watching, 21 likes. If you would please hit that like button. If you're on mobile, if you could X out of the live chat, hit the thumbs up, and then just hit live chat again. You'll be right back. So appreciate that. Whoops. Sorry, YouTube. Getting back to you here in your comments. Been bouncing back and forth. My apologies. Merrick Bethurn, what's up? Devin Stibe, Jed Meyer, Michael Costello. If Woodward offers Sully and he accepts, the Florida LSU hate for one. Drew's tummy's not been doing great, so sorry about that. Yeah, Michael, by the way, the LSU Florida, that's another reason I would love to see LSU get O'Sullivan, is just to jab Florida in the eye. Shout out to Chip Bankston at Brock. He scoped my wife's knee and he did great. Dr. Chip Bankston also did my meniscus surgery, and he happens to be the Saints team physician. So like when you watch Saints games and player hurt, guy runs out on the field in the suit, that's Chip Bankston. And he's at Brock. Last D1 projection this morning had Old Dominion beating 1 seed at South Carolina. Oh, being the 1 seed. Rare, but it happens. Matt is getting a lot of commercials these days. I don't know what that means, Trivia. Matt's getting a lot of commercials these days. Merrick, who will do the exit interviews? Paul or the new coach? New coach. Spurge, morning, Matt. Thank you to those who made the ultimate sacrifice, protecting our country and their families. God bless. Amen. How we started the show today, and certainly worth mentioning. Memorial Day, of course. Look, enjoy the beautiful weather. I know a lot of people get out and get on the water, either swimming or boating or whatever on Memorial Day. Throw something on the grill. It was nice to sleep in a little bit, but really, we should all at least take note and remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. So, and even more so, maybe even their families who they left behind. So, prayers of thanksgiving and blessings to all on Memorial Day. Merrick Mathern, whiskey and wine with Matt Beck. I don't think that's exactly the path he's going to go. Not familiar right now, but does CHS have another tailback in the pipeline for LSU? Michael, yeah, they do. The talent in that program. Sorry, he's talking about Calic High. The talent in that program right now is absurd. I told you last year they're about to go on a run. They've been to 4 straight state championship games, but they're about to go on a run. We'll see what the new. There's a reason that Semino left where he was for Catholic, but the cupboard is not bare. Tim Tucker reading articles by writers in Florida quoting O'Sullivan when asked about the LSU job. His Saban-like responses are awesome. Yeah, if you check Twitter, Tim, you'll see the video when he was asked about the LSU job. His head was down. He never looked up, and he said, "Look, people can write whatever they want. I'm the head coach at Florida." Is basically what he said. No denial. I don't know. It's a no-win situation for any coach. I don't know what you can say that's going to be satisfactory because everybody's going to dissect what you say and how you say it. But suffice to say that I feel very strongly that if LSU offers the job to Kevin O'Sullivan, he will accept it. Kenneth Martin, Matt, do you think Alan Dunn will be a head coach? No, Alan Dunn does not want to be a head coach. All AD wants to do is work with pitchers. And in part, that's kind of one of the reasons LSU had problems with the staff is when you're limited on staff members, you have to have guys that can do more. And AD is a real. I know people. I don't really feel like having this debate. Alan Dunn is a great pitching coach, but that's all he did. Paul Maneri, Nolan recruited, and Nolan pitched at LSU, but AD worked with the pitchers. And then so because that's your full-time staff members, you have a part-time hitting coach. Anyway, they could certainly be more efficient, get more out of their staff, and I think that's going to be an aim for the next coach, really. John Melanson, good morning, Matt. How's Drew? He's doing okay, thanks, man. Having a little trouble with his tummy. That's obviously been an ongoing issue, but we'll make it. But he's doing great, man. Thank you. Joshua Smith, do you think Florida has gotten better pitching prospects than LSU, or does Sully develop pitchers better than what LSU has over the years? Seems like Florida has been more consistent in that area. Both. I think both are true. Now, look, Josh, the flip side of that is, remember, LSU's brought in Kevin Gausman and Aaron Nola and Alex Lang and Cole Henry and Jaden Hill and Landon Marceau, who passed on $2 million, showed up on campus. It's not like the cupboard's been bare. And a lot of those guys have developed and gotten better during their time at LSU. And you could look at Florida and you could say Puck and Faedo and Singer and Coar. They've, Tommy Mace right now. They've had their guys too. But, I think a lot of times LSU fans struggle to see just how special some of the things that they've had really are, because it's come in the absence of a national championship. So anything short of that, you don't celebrate. Which do you realize Alex Lang is second in LSU history in strikeouts behind only Ben McDonald? You realize that? And both were 3-year guys. The only play, and they're separated by like a couple of strikeouts. If Alex Lang had gotten to pitch in the National Championship Series in 2017. He likely would have broken Ben McDonald's career strikeout record. Hey, bud. For his 406 strikeouts, 406 strikeouts. I think Ben had like 410. Hang on, let me see. You're making me look this up now, gosh darn it. So Lang at 406, Ben had... Come on. Why am I going down this rabbit hole? Oh well. $409. There it is. Thank you. No, I'm sorry. He passed Ben McDonald. Alex Lang passed Ben McDonald. He trails only Scott Schultz, who had 409. Lang was 3 behind Schultz, who was a 4-year guy. How about that? Alex Lang, more career strikeouts than Ben McDonald. How you doing? No, but LSU's had no talent. They don't develop guys. I know that's not what you said, but anyway. When we start YouTube, we're getting ads, bringing the video. Oh, I got, yeah. So so YouTube monetizes pages, right? So if you have, there's certain benchmarks you have to set to monetize your page. So like, for those, so like you have to have 1,000 subscribers and so many like watch minutes or hours or whatever, and then you could get your page verified. If your page is verified, they can run ads on your page, and then you get paid off of that. It's like Google AdSense dollars. So when people run Google ads, they could theoretically run them on a pre-roll on any of my videos, and yes, I would get paid. But I'll tell y'all, this is funny because I did this once before, and I'll tell y'all how much I've made. Let's see, this is in the last third, just so y'all know, like how the people who actually make like a lot of money on this stuff. Here we go. I have made on the Matt Moscona YouTube channel in the last 30 days, $47.86. So, yes, you're getting pre-rolls. No, I'm not making a fortune off your pre-roll ads. Let's see, where am I? Sorry, y'all. What are the Mosconas doing on this beautiful Memorial Day? I'm going to, after I'm done here, I'm going to do a little work. Yeah, no AFR today. So I'm going to do a little workout and then do a little something on the grill. I think we're going to run to Erica's sister's house. They live around the corner from us. So probably go do a little pool time with them and, just relax a little this afternoon. So just a relaxing day. Is CHS getting out-of-state players moving to Baton Rouge like IMG? No. Michael Merritt, Catholic High finished number 1 in the nation for spring soccer season. Still trying to get my son's head coach to come over from Katy to play for a weekend series with Catholic and Jesuit. Very cool. No, I mean, all good, man. No apologies. No fan base support even after being successful as he has been. Rusty Senatol, no AFR today? No AFR today. Got the day off. Look, they give me a day off. I'll always take a day off. Michael Sutherland, good morning. John Bro, good morning. Bentley Spears, Canizaro's got baggage, but at this point, does it matter? He's built a power at MSU in just a few years. That's not happening. I wouldn't say he built a power. I mean, he had them in the Super Regionals in Baton Rouge when they lost in 17, and they got fired before 18. Like right as 18 was starting, he got fired. It'd be interesting to see if Tulane eventually went and hired him. I think Andy will get a shot again. I mean, he's coaching high school right now. He'll probably get a shot back in college at some point, and it'll be at a low-level job, and then he'll have to work his way up. I mean, I think he'll get that shot again. It's just not going to be at LSU. Where does 6 SEC tourney titles in 15 years rank in SEC history? He won 6 out of 12, which is crazy. He won 6 in 12 years. But I don't know. I don't know what coaches won the most. All right, y'all. Whoops. Dag nabbit. $47 sounds like a bottle of whiskey. Maybe trivia. Can I borrow $40? Boom. So good. Anyway. Flex that top shelf and show. All jokes aside, shout out to my grandpa that just celebrated his 60th year teaching. Taught a Catholic point computer for 13 years. That's awesome, Blaine. Shout out to your grandpa, man. Okay, y'all, I think we're just about done. Thanks for hanging out. A couple hours away from selection committee revealing their brackets, so we'll know for sure today if LSU season continues. I don't want the season to end, y'all, bro. I need content for as long as I can get content, man. I always say if LSU baseball can play me through June, and then we got SEC Media Days middle of July, a week after Media Days, the Saints report, a week after the Saints, LSU reports first week in August. Like, boom, we're into football. So I basically got the first 2 weeks of July to figure stuff out. So, go Tigers. All right, y'all. Have an awesome day. Again, happy Memorial Day. Be well. No Locked on LSU today. No AFR today. We'll be back on schedule tomorrow. Hey, Drew, you want to come say hi to Dad's show? You want to come say hi to Dad's show? No. He's too cool for school now, y'all. All right, we'll see you. Have a great day. Peace.